I knew something was wrong the second she walked through the door. It was the look on her face, detached, cold, almost rehearsed. Emma had never been good at hiding her emotions. For 14 years, I could read her like a book. Her laughter when she was nervous, the way she fiddled with her hair when lying, the distant gaze when her mind was already somewhere else. That night, she carried all of those signs at once. "Daniel," she said, her voice clipped, "we need to talk." My stomach dropped. Those 4 words never precede good news. I braced myself, trying to keep my breathing even. "What is it?"
She didn't sit.
She didn't even take off her coat. She just stood there, looking like a stranger in our living room. "I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving." I blinked. "Leaving what?" "Us." Her eyes darted to the floor. "I've been seeing someone else." The words were sharp, surgical. No build-up, no apology, no attempt to soften the blow. Just brutal honesty, like she wanted to rip it open quickly and walk away from the mess. I couldn't breathe. My ears rang. "You're joking." "I'm not." She sighed, as if she were the one burdened. "I've been unhappy for a long time. His name is Eric. She paused. "I love him." It felt like the ground split beneath me. 14 years, just erased. Every dinner we cooked together. Every late-night talk. Every fight we survived. Every whispered promise. It all suddenly felt like a lie. I sat down heavily, my hands trembling. "You love him? Emma, you're my wife." "I don't want to be any more," she whispered. And just like that, she walked out. The first week was a blur of anger and disbelief. I replayed every moment of our marriage in my head, trying to pinpoint where it had gone wrong. Was it when I worked late hours? When we stopped taking trips? When the routine of life dulled the spark we once had? Friends told me not to blame myself, that cheaters cheat because of who they are, not who we aren't. But at 3 a.m., lying alone in bed, I couldn't believe that. I pictured her with him, laughing, touching, whispering things she once whispered to me. It was torture. But the strangest part? The house was silent. Oppressively so. At first, I hated it. Then I realized the silence also meant freedom. No more walking on eggshells. No more watching her grow distant, pretending not to notice. By the 3rd week, something inside me shifted. I stopped begging for answers that would never satisfy me. I stopped checking her social media, stopped waiting for a text. Instead, I started living. I cleaned the house from top to bottom, threw out old junk, even repainted the living room. It wasn't about erasing her, it was about reclaiming the space as mine. And then came Sarah. She was a friend of a friend, someone I'd met years ago at a barbecue. We bumped into each other at a cafe. I must have looked miserable because she sat with me, listened, and didn't judge. She didn't ask about Emma right away. She just talked. About books, travel, small silly things that made me laugh for the first time in weeks. Over the next few days, we saw more of each other. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. Just companionship. She reminded me that I wasn't broken beyond repair. That I was still someone worth being around. And for the first time, I realized I didn't miss Emma. I missed who I thought she was. Exactly a month after she left, Emma came back. I heard the knock at the door on a Saturday afternoon. When I opened it, there she was, standing on the porch like a ghost from another life. Her hair was unkempt, her eyes swollen from crying. She clutched her phone like it was the only thing holding her together. "Daniel," her voice cracked. "Can I come in?" I hesitated but stepped aside. She walked in, glancing around the living room. She noticed the new paint immediately, the fresh plants by the window.
It was no longer the house she had left.
She sat down on the couch, the same couch where she had told me she loved another man, and clasped her hands. "I made a mistake," she said finally. "Eric, it didn't work. He wasn't who I thought he was. She swallowed hard. He used me. He was seeing someone else the whole time." The words hung in the air, but I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no triumph. Just emptiness. "I thought leaving would make me happy," she whispered. "But I was wrong. I miss you. I miss us." I stared at her, searching her face for sincerity. A month ago, Those words would have broken me open with hope. But now they just felt hollow. You don't miss me, I said quietly. You miss the stability. You miss what I gave you. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Daniel, please. We can fix this. I'll do anything. I shook my head slowly. You walked out on us.
Not just me, us.
And you didn't just leave, you betrayed. You chose someone else while you still had me. I was confused, she begged. People make mistakes.
No, Emma.
Forgetting to pick up milk is a mistake. Leaving your husband for another man? That's a choice. She buried her face in her hands, sobbing. Is there someone else? She asked suddenly, her voice muffled. I didn't answer. Her head snapped up. There is, isn't there? I met her gaze evenly.
Yes.
Her name is Sarah. The silence that followed was deafening. Her face twisted, anger mixing with grief. Already? A month later, and you've replaced me? No, I said firmly. You replaced yourself the moment you left. I just opened the door to someone who wanted to be here. Her lip trembled. I can't believe this. Neither could I said. But then I realized, I deserve better. And so does Sarah. Emma stood abruptly, as if the walls were closing in on her. She looked around the room one last time, her eyes lingering on the new paint, the plants, the absence of her photographs. This was no longer her home. When she reached the door, she turned back, her voice barely a whisper. I thought you'd wait for me. I felt the ache in my chest, but I stood my ground. I did wait, Emma, for 14 years. Her eyes widened, and for a brief moment, I saw regret. Real, searing regret. But it was too late. She left again, and this time I didn't watch her go. That night, Sarah came over. We cooked dinner together, laughing as we burned the garlic bread. She curled up on the couch, comfortable in a way Emma hadn't been in years. As I watched her, I realized something profound. Healing doesn't come from revenge or from waiting for someone to regret hurting you. Healing comes from choosing yourself, from allowing space for new beginnings. Emma had returned to see who took her place. But the truth was, no one could take her place, because her place no longer existed. She had burned it to the ground herself, and I had already built something better from the ashes.